Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I sat through the testimony on this bill, and it became crystal clear to me that this bill misses the mark substantially on what the proponents of the bill are trying to achieve. I think the narrative has us thinking about these really nasty criminal gangs in Mexico, cartel members, real frightening bad guys, the kind of guys you might see on Narcos if you follow those series. And the proponents of this bill are thinking, wow, if we just make the law tougher, it'll deal with the problem. But when we really think about it, that's not the case. Because yes, there are push factors in places like Cuba, Venezuela, Guatemala that send people here. There's no question. Instability, severe weather, climate change is pushing migration. No question, there are push factors. But what few people really want to admit is that dirty little secret that we have here in Texas, and that is an insatiable appetite for immigrant labor. And undocumented immigrant labor that happens in everyone's district in this chamber. And in fact, I was really glad to hear Representative Ramos look directly at the language of the smuggling statute, right? Because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about Texas Penal Code 20-05. And if you look at the language very, very clearly, in subsection 2, it says, if you knowingly encourage or induce a person to enter or remain in this country in violation of federal law, you're a smuggler. How many people in your communities do you know, a rancher, a farmer, a soccer mom, who knows that the person that they employ is unauthorized, is undocumented? Yeah, but Rafael, we just pay them under the table. We just pay them in cash. Construction worker, the people who painted your home, the people who made your bed at the hotel today, who cooked your meal, was in the back in the kitchen, who washed your dishes. That's the dirty little secret that nobody wants to talk about today, is that all of that is smuggling. It's all part of it, if you read the statute directly. But nobody, from our tough-talking Attorney General or to any DA in your community, is actually ever going to prosecute any of those people who induce a person to remain in this country. Why? Why do you think that is? Because deep down we know that immigrants are good for Texas. We know that the Texas miracle is not just low taxes, it's not just our business climate. It really is the fact that we're in the North American continent and we share a border with Mexico that provides willing employers in the United States with willing workers at scale. At scale. And it was really funny because in committee we had a group that was like farmers and ranchers who were for this bill. And I asked them, when I went through the definition with them, I said, hey, what if we started giving your members mandatory minimums of 10 years? What if we did that, you farmers and ranchers? And they acknowledged, yes, so some of our workers would qualify as undocumented. Sure, they're unauthorized. Do you use E-Verify? No, we don't. They're the ones who are creating the demand. And it's in every sector. I don't mean to single them out, but when I put it to them, do you want your members serving 10-year mandatory minimums? No, then they just want to talk about comprehensive immigration reform. Well, we need to create a safe and legal way to match willing employers and willing workers. And that really is the only way that we get out of this conundrum. Because you can pass this bill, and you're just gonna, I was reading a newspaper article about the people who are the smugglers. They're not the people that you think about from Narcos. They're folks in your community. They're a high school kid. They're a college kid. They're U.S. Marines that were busted for smuggling. There are people who are late on their child support. There are people who needed money to buy diapers. Those are the people that you're going to hit with 10-year mandatory minimums, and you will do nothing to deal with the underlying problem. Because any of us who's taken first-year college economics knows that if there is a demand, products or services will find their way to market. And that's the dirty little secret that nobody wants to confront in this body and certainly not in Congress, that allows this situation to persist over and over and over again. So can you pass this bill and create a mandatory minimum? Yes. Will it be completely ineffective in dealing with the problem? Absolutely. Are you going to hurt a lot of people along the way, Ann Johnson? Oh, heck yes. And we can see the future today. So while you may vote on this, you may feel really good about it, until people are willing to have a serious conversation about what drives our unauthorized immigration, yes, there are push factors, but it's mainly pull. Because we tell people, hey, if you survive the Darien Gap and you survive getting through Mexico and you cross that border, there are plentiful U.S. jobs waiting for you. Because we need immigrants. We need immigrants in the United States. And we also need a safe and legal way for these immigrants not to be exploited and not to be smuggled and for people not to get caught up in the web of this bill. But if we just keep doing what we're doing now, onesies and twosies, little bills like this, we're going to be back here again, and there will be another failed tactic to try to deal with the problem. And instead, I think it would be far more productive for us to talk about that dirty little secret, surface that part of the Texas miracle, and that is our immigrant population that breathes life into and is the oxygen for not only our communities, but for our economy in this state. So members, I urge you vote no, and instead lend your collective voices to urging Congress to fixing the problem. Thank you.